What is going on, beautiful people of the world? My name is Garrett Wolf, and I am the host of the #1 podcast for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs. I've built my body over the last 8 years, and in the last 3 years, I've helped hundreds of online clients shred unwanted fat and embody the best version of themselves. Now, let's jump right into today's show. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Alpha Movement Podcast. This is the #1 show for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, all without giving up the most enjoyable aspects of their life. In today's episode, I want to talk about putting yourself in a position where you can't quit even if you wanted to. All right, guys, so if at any point during this episode you enjoy what I have to say or you take some value from this podcast, as usual, please screenshot my face, share it to your Instagram stories, tag me at _Garrett Wolf, and I will reshare it to my story and send you a free gift. Other than that, guys, this camera angle, it's pretty good, right? This is a pretty good camera angle. If you guys have been tuning into the pod, it used to be a camera angle of right over here, and I was sitting in the back way over there, but then it was a little bit awkward because you could see like my whole body, you could see my legs and everything kind of just sitting on the chair. So I decided to switch it up, maybe try and make it look a little bit more professional. And so I moved the camera back, moved the desk around a little bit, and now we have a nice frame of just my shoulders up. And it looks pretty good when we cut it up and make these podcast clips into little TikToks and Reels, because that's how I repurpose my long form content so that I can keep up with the 6 times a day posts on Instagram, 6 times on YouTube Shorts, like 12 times on TikTok. And so hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully you guys like it. I just wanted to mention that real quick because I'm looking at myself in the camera angle, and I finally figured out like where to set up the camera so that I can actually see myself. Because if you guys have been tuning in again, like 3 episodes ago, I recorded a podcast that was just completely blurry. The whole thing was blurry and it was a complete fail. So you live and you learn. You make mistakes and you live through them. And so I just wanted to talk about that real quick. But another thing, guys, a couple wins before we get into the negative, because this podcast is going to be a little bit drowsy, a little bit droopy. Just because of the things that I've been experiencing, the things that I've been going through. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about contest prep. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how it was incredibly easy at first and now it is really, really hard and really taxing. I want to talk to you guys about putting yourself in a position where even if you want to quit, you simply can't, because that's where I feel like I am right now. I feel like I'm in a position where I frankly just want to quit. I want to give up. And if it was up to me, basically I would, but I can't. And I'll tell you guys a bit about that. So it's a little bit drowsy, but at the end of the day, what I'm tying it all back into is, success, what it takes to become someone who is successful, how to break through your barriers, how to become a person that's actually worth living, a person that's like a life that's actually worth living, right? So but before I get into all that stuff, a couple of the wins, guys. We've been going turbo viral on TikTok these past few days. Over the past week, I've been like, as you guys know, I've been hammering in on the content. Like I'm about to hit 1,000 posts on Instagram. I post again 6 times on Reels, 6 times on YouTube Shorts, and like 11 to 12 to 13 times, on TikTok every single day. And, if you guys listen to Alex Hermosi or Gary Vee or Brad Lee or any of these content creation machines, Ryan Pineda, all these guys, they talk about how, quantity, quality over quantity at first, but quality plus quantity, over time equals, better content. In other words, quality plus quantity is better than just quality. But quantity is not better than quality. However, it takes quantity to become better, right? So you need kind of a good mixture of both. And so I've been finding my rhythm over the past, 3 years of posting. I've been finding my rhythm over and over and over again. And guys, I mean, it is fucking so hard. If you have ever thought about trying to go viral or even just trying to post, trying to get views, it is so incredibly hard on these fucking social media platforms. It's way harder than I thought. It is way harder than I thought. I posted for like 2.5, 3 years with nothing, zero. Nobody cared about what I was posting. It was like nothing would go viral, nothing would pop off, no comments, no likes, post after post after post. But then finally, some posts start doing better than others. Some posts start, getting a little bit more views. Some posts start getting a bit more traction. Some posts might even pop off. And then you can look at those posts, figure out what went better with them in comparison to the other posts that I've been making, and you can kind of snowball your content a little bit, right? So I've been doing that over and over and over and over again, and finally this week we went super viral on, I think, 3 or 4 videos. One of the videos is at like 425,000 views on TikTok. I think it got like 50,000 on Instagram is where it's at right now. Another one got about 250,000 views on TikTok last time I checked it, at least, and so it's still just snowballing. And then this morning another video is at 144,000 views on TikTok, and so now I have a nice pool of viral videos that I can just look at, kind of digest and analyze and figure out why did these pop off, and then make my other content accordingly to the betterment of how those ones popped off. And so I'm just super excited about that, really really thankful, really grateful. I gained like 500, 600 followers on TikTok, finally starting to see some traction for all the hard work that we've been putting in. And so that is just like super motivating, really, really inspiring. Because once you have like a reference point, posting on 2.5 years of on all socials with, just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall. It's like, I don't know if this works. I don't know how it'll work. I don't know why it'll work. And then just kind of analyzing and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't is really, really hard when you don't have any data to look at, especially when you do it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you're just not seeing any traction. You don't have any data to go off of. It can be hard. But then finally, something's going to catch some traction. So if you guys are posting, if you guys are trying to become influencers or coaches or whatever it is, content creators, making a brand, just know that this shit takes forever. I am someone who's in the trenches, actually doing it every single day, pretty much by myself. The only person I have that helps me is an editor. I do everything else myself. I write all the headlines, I make all the thumbnails, I write all the hashtags, I write everything. I do everything else myself, other than I just have a few videos edited for me by my editor, because, posting 6 times on all platforms, I can't edit all that content by myself, unfortunately, and run multiple businesses at the same time. I just don't have really the time or the mental bandwidth to be able to do that. But, again, it's like another thing is like, it's just about how many reps you can put in, just like in the gym, right? When you go to the gym, you might not see progress. You might not see progress at first, but once you start doing it over and over and over again, you'll start to see progress in accordance to something that you did, a couple days prior. Like, say you're bench pressing and you're at a bench press plateau and you can't break through it. So then you kind of stop bench pressing and then you go to flat dumbbell bench and you start getting stronger on dumbbell bench. And then all of a sudden you go back to the barbell bench and you're stronger on the barbell bench after not even doing barbell bench and doing, dumbbell bench instead. It's like, how did this happen? But it just happens because you're doing something new. You're doing a new stimulus. You're producing a new adaptation. And that's exactly what happens with, social medias. And that's why, honestly, here at the Alpha Movement Academy, what I preach is the first step to becoming like a hyper successful person, if that's how you want to label it. Someone who is, happy, or I wouldn't even clarify it as happy. It's just they're living in accordance with the person that they know they want to be, right? And most people, they want to be fit, they want to be aesthetic. Most people, they want to be wealthy, they want to have a lot of money. Most people, they want to have good relationships, they want to be comprehensive people, they want to be able to portray themselves as happy, confident. And I don't even like to use the word happy because I think that's thrown around way too much, but confident, smart, you know good looking people, that's what most people desire. And so I just think it's the first step to becoming a hyper successful person, whatever you want to call it, is getting in the gym and getting that shit done. But I already completed that checkpoint. So now I'm on to the business checkpoint. I'm going to get the wealth done. Then I'm going to move to the relationship checkpoint after I get the wealth kind of, locked in. And then I'm going to move to the spirituality right after that. All right. So I'm kind of leveling up the tiers, right? I'm reinforcing the pillars, and hopefully I'll let you guys know how it goes over the long run. Maybe I'll be living my best life, and maybe not. Maybe I'll be in the trenches. Maybe I'll be homeless. You never know what's going to happen. But, I'm here for it every step of the way. I'm excited, and those are some of my wins because I'm just super stoked. Almost 500,000 views on a TikTok video feels pretty good, man. It feels pretty good. It starts making me think that I might even be able to, break 100K organically on TikTok, which would be crazy. I mean, I'm only at like 14,000 followers right now, but a couple days ago I was only at 12. So it's really, really motivating, really inspiring. But in any case, those are some of the wins from this week. Some of the hardships that I've been facing. So basically, guys, I'm 4.5 weeks out. I've been telling everyone I'm 5.5, but I was just completely wrong about the dates. I'm 4.5 weeks out from my first ever men's physique show, and it was hard at first, a little bit, and I started training about 11 weeks out. It was hard at first. The training was easy. I've always been training, but the diet plan was tough because I had to introduce a bunch of foods that I couldn't, I didn't really eat too much, like chicken breasts, like turkey breasts, like steak, all these meats, a shit ton of vegetables, drinking a gallon, almost 2 gallons of water every single day, walking 11, 15, 20,000 steps every day. But then I started to adapt to it. I started to get used to it, and it became easier around week, 9, 8, 8 weeks out, 9 weeks out. It became easier. And then, I was kind of breezing. I was kind of flying by. Then, it was 7 weeks, then 6 weeks out, 5 weeks out. And then it started to get a little bit harder, right? And why the reason it started to get harder was because as you get deeper and deeper into a cut, you get hungrier and hungrier because you have less and less fat to pull from, right? And so I'm on like a pretty decent cut. I'm in about 1,000 calorie deficit every single day, and I've been on this cut for about 5, 6 months now, because I was cutting prior to even signing up for the bodybuilding competition. I was cutting myself, and that's actually one of the reasons I decided to sign up for the comp, was because I was already pretty shredded, and I was like, I don't even have to get that much leaner to hop on stage, so I might as well just do it now. I've always wanted to do a show. I might as well do it now. And so, I'd already been dieting 2, 3 months on my own prior to the 11 weeks that I signed up with my coach for. So I've been cutting now for about, again, 4 or 5, almost 6 months. I can't remember exactly how long, but the longer you stay in a cut, the hungrier and hungrier you're going to get, right? And so the more and more mental mind games start to happen. So at this point, I'm experiencing a lot of new things, and I would love to just share with you guys some of the things I'm experiencing from being the leanest it is I've ever been. I'm about 155 pounds as of this morning, around 10% body fat. At least that's what the scale says. And I think that's pretty accurate because I have like lightning bolt fucking veins everywhere, like in my stomach, all up my abs, in every parcel of my biceps. There's new veins that I didn't even know I had. And that's the cool part. That's the cool part. But I wanted to touch on the quality of life a little bit because I think a lot of people want to get grossly shredded, right? Even I did. They want to get sub 10%. They want to get 8% body fat. They want to have a feathered back. They want to have feathered quads. They want to look insane, right? They want to be confident, happy, healthy, whatever. But the problem is when you get this lean, your hormones start to get all out of balance. What happens is your cortisol levels go way up because your body is telling you like, yo, you need to go get food because you're hungry as shit. You're literally starving. And so your ghrelin levels, they go through the roof. That's the hunger producing hormone in your stomach. So you start secreting more ghrelin. You start feeling hungry all day. You start feeling stressed because cortisol produces stress. As well as for men, your testosterone, it kind of plummets when you get this lean, for whatever reason. It just plummets and plummets and plummets. And testosterone is one of the main motivating hormones. And so you start losing motivation as you start getting more and more stressed and as you start getting more and more hungry. And so this really, it kind of brings out the true character within you, right? Because as you get more and more stressed, more and more hungry, your brain starts to play intense mind games where it's like, I don't really, my brain starts to say throughout the day, it's like, I don't really care how lean I step on stage. Like, I just need to eat. I'm hungry. Like, I need food, right? Like, even though that's not true, like, that's a thought that goes on in my brain. It's like, of course I care. Like, I want to step on stage looking as crazy as I possibly can. But my brain throughout the day is like, yo, we don't care how we step on stage. We're hungry. We need food now. We don't care if we break our calories. We are hungry. We need food now. And it's like, I know, like, these are not my thoughts. These are not the thoughts that go through my head on a day-to-day basis. This is not the normal mindset that I typically have. Usually I'll be able to control my thoughts and silence them and come in as like the succeeder and conquer my own head and be able to live in accordance with who I want to be. But, when your thoughts and your hormones start going all out of balance, you start to experience these crazy things. It's the same thing with addiction. I talk about this all the time. People who are addicted to drugs is like their true self. They know they don't want to do those drugs, but their brain, it comes knocking on their door. Their subconscious mind is like, yo, buddy, I know you don't want to do these drugs, but you are a drug addict and you need this drug now. Like, that's exactly what happens, even though they know that they're going to regret it, and they know that they don't want to be a drug addict, and they know that they don't want that drug. And it's like the same thing for me. I'm walking through my life and I'm like, I get to eat 2,000 calories a day, which is a decent amount, but mind you, I'm burning like 3,000, 3,200 calories every single day. So I'm in about 1,000 to 1,200 calorie deficit every single day. And so the deeper and deeper I go, the more and more out of whack my hormones get. And one crazy thing that I've been experiencing is even if I wait and eat like 1,000 calorie meal at the end of the day and really like stuff myself with a ton of vegetables, a ton of food, and like, a bunch of good tasty carbs, is like I can be completely full and I'll still be hungry. which is like the weirdest experience ever. It's like a bottomless pit. Like I'll be completely full, stuffed to the brink. My stomach is like protruding through my fucking shirt, and I'm still hungry. It's like no matter how much food I feed myself, I'm still hungry. And so I'm just like I'm latching on to the motivation. I just this morning I was playing motivational speeches as I was walking outside, just kind of latching onto it because that's how I respawn my motivating thoughts in my head to make them reoccurring thoughts over and over and over again. It's like I remind myself who I am. I remind myself like why I'm doing this in the first place. I remind myself like what it is that I'm trying to achieve with this competition. And I'm only 4.5 weeks out. If I can last the 4.5 weeks, then I can do whatever I want after that. And the food that I'm going to be able to eat after that is going to taste a lot more sweet if I didn't end up cheating my way on the way up to the show. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm just trying to remind myself, what I'm doing it for, the reason I'm here. My purpose is like, uh, the longer you can last, the greater the outcome will be. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't want to get overnight gratification, like instant success, instant gratification. None of that is as glorious, is as satiating, is as gratifying as if you can wait and you can like go through the hardships and go through the struggles and really, really feel the grind. And one of the reasons I wanted to do the show in the first place is to see like how lean I can physically possibly get. And so I'm starting to get these kind of adverse side effects, but my original goal stands true is like I want to see how lean I can get. And right now I'm the leanest I've ever been. But I can get a lot leaner. I'm at 10% body fat. I can get down to 8. I can get down to 7, maybe even 6. I want to achieve that feathered back. I want to get everything just so I can see, and remember, I kind of want to remind myself that being that lean, being that shredded, it wasn't fun. Remember, like you were starving all the time, you were stressed all the time. Another thing is since my cortisol is so high, I wake up like 2 or 3 times every single night. Since my water intake is so high, I wake up to go to the bathroom. I wake up out of stress. I wake up hungry. I'm craving foods in the middle of the night. And then the first thing I think about when I wake up is like, how can I get to breakfast? It's absolutely insane. All I think about is food 24/7 is like, when is my next meal? It completely consumes my thoughts. And I just want to but again, I need to ground myself. I just want to quit, right? I just want to quit. And I would quit if it was up to me, but I need to ground myself. And the reason I can't quit is because that would not be living in accordance with the person I know I want to be. I want to be someone who's successful. I want to be someone who feeds off delayed gratification, delayed success. The longer I can wait, the longer I can hold out, the more satiating, the more satisfying, the more gratifying the outcome is going to be. And I am not someone who quits midway through. I am not someone who is capable of starting something and quitting, even though I want to quit with all my heart, with all my fucking, with my stomach, with my brain. Everything about me wants to quit, but I can't because I put myself in a position where, number one, if I quit, I'll be incredibly regretful after I eat those meals, after I eat those cheat meals. I'll hate myself because I'm not living in accordance with the person I know I want to be. Number two, I can't quit because I announced it to everyone. I told everyone that I was doing a bodybuilding show. I told social media, I told all my friends, I told my family. So quitting there again is not an option. Three, I already booked a flight, a hotel, right? I have all these reasons that I can't quit. And so we're talking about putting yourself in a position where even if you want to quit, you can't quit. So the three things that are keeping me grounded are, the fact that I need to live in parallel with the person it is I know I want to become. Right. So that's probably the strongest one is if I quit is like the regret is going to be a lot more painful than the minuscule hunger pains I might be feeling right now. Number two is like I told everyone that I'm going to do it. I told everyone what I was going to accomplish. And now if I quit, it's like not only am I letting myself down to the core, which is the worst part, but I'm also letting everybody else who is cheering me on, who is on my side, who is on my team, I'm letting them all down at the same time. And number three, it's like I already paid for the coach. I already invested in my goals. I already booked the flight. I already booked the tanning appointment. I already invested all this money. And so we got, self-confidence, number one. We got everyone else relying on me, number two. And we got me investing in myself and in my goals, number three. And so we're talking about how you can put yourself in a position where even if you want to quit, you cannot simply quit. And that's where I'm at right now, 4.5 weeks out. I would love to quit. I would love to go to IHOP and eat some Tres Leches pancakes. I would love to go to Chipotle and get a giant fucking burrito and eat the entire thing. But I have put myself in a position where even if I want to quit, even if I wanted to quit, it is basically physically impossible for me to quit at this point. So I'm asking you, I want you to see in your life, like, for the goals that you want to achieve, how can you put yourself in a position where you cannot quit even if you wanted to the core, even if you were struggling, even if you were hurting, even if you were beaten down? How could you be in a position where you would not be able to quit even if you wanted to? A couple of the ways that I'm doing it is, again, I feel this need to live in parallel with the person that I know I need to become, or the person I know I want to become. And the person I want to become is not somebody who quits, right? Number two is, like, I cannot let down every person that I told about this journey. I cannot let down everyone who's on my team, everyone who's rooting for me, everyone who wants me to win. I already told them all that I'm doing this. I already told them all that I wanted to accomplish this, and I simply cannot, and I will not let them down. That is one thing that is fucking for sure. And number three is, I already invested thousands of dollars into myself. You know, my coach wasn't cheap. The flight there isn't cheap. The hotel isn't cheap. The tanning isn't cheap. The actual signing up for the summer shredding, that shit is not cheap. And so I already put up all this money and investment into myself. And so those are the three ways that I'm keeping myself dedicated, and I'm keeping myself somewhat motivated, even though motivation is a dying force and positive momentum is the only way that I'm really staying in this shit. And so those are just some of the ways that I keep myself accountable, and that I've put myself in a position where even though I want to quit down to the core, it's not possible for me to quit at this point with the implications that I've put upon myself. So I'm asking you, you know, how in your life can you put implications onto yourself, onto your goals, to make it so that even if you want to quit down to the core, even if everything about you, every bone in your body wants to quit, how can you make it so that it's impossible for you to quit? How can you make it so that the pain of quitting is worse than the pain that you go through on a day-to-day basis? Because that's where I'm at, and that's how I'm continuing to do it. So that brings us to the end, guys. That's where I'm at. That's my life. That's what's going on right now. And so hopefully you can take some value from my experiences in my life and implement it into yours, because that's the whole point of the pod. That's the whole point of the alpha movement, and that's the whole point of why I do this every single day. So hopefully you guys got some value. If you did, screenshot my face, share it to your Instagram stories, tag me at _Garrett Wolf, and I will reshare it to my story and send you a free gift. Other than that, guys, I'm going to go make some cream of rice with some protein and probably some eggs, because that's my breakfast, and because that's all I can think about right now. And I'm really fucking excited for it, frankly. I can't wait to eat that shit. And, you know, then I'm going to have to wait till my next meal. So hopefully you guys got some value. Once again, I hope you all have a fantastic motherfucking day, and I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hopefully you got some value. If you did get value and you want to learn a little bit more about how you can go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, just head over to my Instagram at _Garrett Wolf. DM me the word six-pack and I'll reach out to you and see if I can help. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace.